Okay, we are going to start our online event now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody to Germany. Welcome also to Training Made in Germany and to the iMove online presentation, e-learning for India. I am Sylvia Niedig, Regional Manager for South Asia here at iMove, and I will be your host today, together with my colleague Arunachalam Karthikeyan, who is the head of our iMove office in India. Hi, Karthik.
Hi, Sylvia. Hi, all.
And I would also like to introduce my colleague Peter Pfaffe, who will take care of the technical aspects of today's event. Hello, Peter.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Karthik.
Hi.
Thank you, Karthik, and thank you, Peter, for being here with me today. Our organization iMove is the networking platform for German providers of vocational education and further training and for their international partners. iMove was established by the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research and is part of the Federal Institute for Vocational Education and Training. Today, we are going to see and hear 5 presentations of German training providers who have e-learning measures on offer which match training demands in India. Each training provider will have 10 minutes to introduce his or her training offer to you. After each presentation, we allow 5 minutes for questions. Some technical remarks. Your microphones and your cameras have been switched off and will remain so during the whole event. So you can concentrate completely on the 5 presentations. If you would like to pose a question to one of the panelists today, please expand the category questions on the right-hand side of your screen by clicking on the category header. Write your question in the text box, send your question to us, and we will pose it right after each presentation. If you want to contact our panelists directly, please also send your requests for contact details via questions. As we only allow 5 minutes for questions after each presentation, we might not be able to pose every question right away, but we will inform each individual panelist about the questions so that he or she can come back to you with the answers later. Now, before the presentations start, I would like to conduct a short survey and kindly ask you to answer the following question. Peter, could you please show this little survey we have for the beginning?
Sylvia, we seem to have a small problem with the survey. It seems that it's not working at the moment. I'll try to put it in after the first presentation, but as of now, I cannot show our first survey.
Okay, then we will continue. And I will now introduce today's panelists to you and have them present their training offers regarding e-learning for India. And our first panelist will be Mr. Markus von Rheinbaben, representing the company Advanced Training Technologies. Mr. von Rheinbaben, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mrs. Niedig, for your introduction. So again, I'm Markus von Rheinbaben from Advanced Training Technology. I'm the International Project Manager. Okay. As our name, Advanced Training Technology, says, we are doing technical training. Because I just got 10 minutes, I can't tell you everything about my company. So these are some reference of ours, and we are training in different industries like automotive, construction, and mining. And we started also training in mining last year in India. Last year, my CEO Mr. Trumpeter went with Dr. Marcus Economic delegation to India and visit the country and Mr. Modi. After that, we started our mining academy with our sister company GHH. GHH is selling mining vehicles and maintaining service for these. With them, we offer training for service technicians for heavyweight machines, but also we offer operator courses for underground trucks. We train in hydraulics, electric, engine, safety and environment. And we have different training modes like classroom training, e-learning, blended learning and troubleshooting at the trucks. To intend that your training is 100% relevant, exciting and also active, we have this key aspect. Focus on your need, lifelong learning. We are independent and flexible to drop down the cost. And on the other hand, we have higher training ability, higher knowledge and higher effectiveness. Coming to my e-learning, to ATT eLearn Academy. Our e-learning academy is for lifelong learning, gamification. We have short e-learning packets. There's no need of installation. It's usable on PC, smartphone, tablet, and it's always in action. I'll show you in a minute how it looks like. I prepared a video for you. Then we've got also ATT skill boards for blended learning, because we think the skill boards are the best combination out of e-learning and practical learning. They're way cheaper than classroom training. You just need a workbench. The training takes 40 to 60 minutes wherever you want, and you have no travel costs or travel time. So now my video should start. I will present you the 4 different training modes we've got. Starting with the classical classroom training. In the back, you can see our Hydrodidact training hardware. It's for troubleshooting and learning about hydraulics with different values, and we've got different measuring points, as you can see here. And the cylinder is controlled by a tablet app, as you can see. So you can put different programs on it. Our virtual classroom came really up because of Corona, because there were no chance to meet up. As you can see, there's a conference room where you can go in, have your own avatar, and it's slightly similar to normal training because you can move. You have different rooms and a really good sound system that you can also do their group work like you do in real life. You got also the chance to have a live troubleshooting, as you can see on the right. So our trainer is standing in our head office in Castrop-Rauxel and doing the troubleshooting at our Hydrodidact during the custom. The participant sit just in front of the laptop. And here another training mode, we can train on 3D models. So you can give us your 3D model and we can train on it. Coming to e-learning, I brought you, for example, the basic hydraulic e-learning. You can choose from different topics, as you can see, and our e-learning is for, as it says, learning, a bit of playing, and also tests. You can have individual styles there, have something to do, as you can see with the lever here. Or putting the pressure measuring into it. And this one is for learning about the spoon value. You just go with your mouse cursor over the different parts and this pops up and you see what it is. Last but not least, we're coming to blended learning. You can see the workbench on the right and the skill board on the other side of the tablet, and it's running on the same platform as the e-learning, and we have a step-by-step introduction how you work on it, and with little animations. And in the end, you always have a little test to see what if you got it right or wrong. And these are some videos of the blended learning. And we got the blended learning for e-learning, tubes, pipe, whatever you want. So coming to my important slide for you, our offer. So we offer you consulting, training needs analysts. This means we are doing actual and target comprehension. So we look at the status quo of your workers, what is the knowledge now, and what do you want them to learn. And after that, we develop an individual training concept for you. All the standards we've got already, you can choose from that, and we offer you also hard and software tools like the HydroDidact training simulation, the blended learning board, the e-learning, and the interactive learning space you saw before, the virtual classroom. And we also offer technical training as a service, and train the trainer, what's really helpful for the virtual classroom. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any question, just ask me or write me an email.
Thank you, Mr. Marcus. We have a couple of questions from our participants, and I think we have Mr. Rajat Khawas. He was asking some question related to e-learning benefit is well understood. What we need to understand better is that we always include German vocational skills training is hand-on, and now the proposal is through distant online learning. So how do you practice and have hands-on? Do you think an employer will be ready to hire someone who has gone through this online program? How do you conduct assessments to gauge the training and the learner ability to demonstrate the contemporary and skills, competency and skills? This is from one of the participants, Rajat Khawas.
A bit on what's allowed and what's not allowed, but we've got in the end you got your result, and at the blended learning, when you have to do this tubes, the employer can see if it's right or wrong, because there are five tubes right, and the participant has to do them as well. So there are different ways to see if the training was worked or not.
Okay, I think we have a couple of more questions, which I think that we can post it to you directly, and maybe we can answer the questions directly to the audience. But from our side, I would like to ask a specific question. Are you already working with some Indian clients? Your company, your institution, and if so, what kind of work you are already doing in India?
Yeah, we're working with GHH. That's our first client in India, and we were going to have more clients, but through Corona we couldn't go there and have any more clients yet. But we hope if we're allowed to go again to India, that we get more clients, but at the moment it's just GHH.
Okay. Thank you. Peter and Sylvia, do we have more time for the questions?
Mm-hmm. I think there are, well, if there are questions, we are going to forward them to Mr. van Reinbaben. I think we should leave it at that for the moment. Yeah. Thank you very much for the information, and thank you also very much for the questions. Now, before we proceed to the next panelist, Peter, can we have the little initial survey now, or is it still not possible?
I'm afraid it's still not possible, Sylvia. We're going to give it another try after the next presentation, but for now, I suggest that we proceed with the program.
Okay, then our next panelist will be Mr. Roland Knitschke, and he is representing the German Association for Water, Wastewater and Waste. Mr. Knitschke, we are looking forward to your presentation now.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Knitschke, we can hear and see you.
This
The
is great.
presentation is
And I welcome my listeners in India, here from the DWA, the German Association for Water, Wastewater and Waste. In Hennef, this is close to Cologne. Oh, my presentation is already there. That's great. Mr. von Rheinbaden, thank you very much for your presentation. It was really interesting to hear what all the different sectors are developing in this COVID-19 times. Even we had a lot of advances in that time, but what I'm going to present you here today is more oriented to e-learning training, what we are doing since 5 years now. And we do it in German and English language. And we think it's valuable to use this opportunity of getting it more into the eye of the listeners. So a short overview about 6 e-learning trainings we are realizing as DWA. The picture is not moving. Why? There it is. Yeah, has some delay. Question number 1. Why did we selected the topic sewer and drains? Because we think that all this underground construction for water and wastewater, for stormwater is very important for the infrastructure. It's fundamental for sanitation and for treatment, environmental aspects. But at the same time, it has a high infrastructure cost. In Germany, we're counting on 500,000 kilometers of public sewers, double the length in private drainages. So when you take the economic value of all this, you have infrastructure costs which are higher than all the famous German motorways together with the electrical power grid. And so you digging a lot of money into the underground. On the other hand, you have, at least in Germany, very low political visibility. No mayor, maybe it's different in India, I don't know. But here in Germany, the mayors like to put traffic lights and kindergartens, but not so much tubes into the ground. So it's so important that we are able to maintain this existing infrastructure and build exactly what we need. So specialized training is needed. And for that purpose, we developed these trainings, which act just in this moment when you need the training opportunity, because you're getting into a new job, because you are getting a new task. Then you have the possibility to train yourself deeply on specific items. We have a lot of these items as presence trainings, no problem. But this is twice a year. But now you are entering into a new job in approval authority. You need the know-how. With this training, in 30 days, you are fit. You have the university level. This is a great chance for you. And so this training is accepted in the market. At the same time, it's interesting for students which prepare themselves for exams. The value of one of these 6 trainings is more or less 30 hours. And so it's more or less 1 credit point. It's not recognized at credit point in university, but it's in the same logic. So 3 slides without explaining what DWA is. DWA is the German Association for Water, Wastewater and Waste. We developed the technical standards in the German water sector for water management, stormwater, even for the sludge, energy and waste aspects out of the wastewater treatment. We run a lot of trainings here in Germany, presence trainings with 35,000 participants a year, 350 trainings a year. We have 14,000 members Nearly all wastewater treatment plants are somehow in one or the other form member of DWA. When you want to get deeper information on that, please click on that video we found on our website. A very small section of DWA is caring about international aspects. So we have a lot of German experience, European experience, and my job in DWA is to transfer these things abroad. I'm running international projects. I'm present in trade shows. For example, in IFAD India, I've been over the last years. You will meet me hopefully next year there. What are we training? What are our course topics? A short overview over that. The first course is about wastewater collection systems in general. Yeah, we're talking about shapes, we are talking about joints, couplings, manholes, and so on, and the history of the development of the sewage systems and drainage system, because we can learn a lot out of history. The second training of 30 hours is caring about the installation of water pipes, drains, and sewers in open cut method. Open cut method, that means open trench technology and how to put these pipes in the bedding and how to care about operational health procedures on that. So the picture changing is a bit delaying. Here we see the optimized concrete pipes. When you're using this pipes with a flat ground and using the right machines, also setting the bedding of pipes, it's much easier. We have the standard method, we have this method. On the next picture, you will see some exercises we have in this online modules about traffic control, excavator in crossing with traffic, what to do over there, what is the risk, how to act, scenarios, and next picture will be solutions. You develop a traffic plan. All these very practical approaches you can exercise with this software. You do it alone, and you do it, if you have any problem, you have an email tutorial opportunity. So sometimes visualizations are really excellent when we go for this excavator, for example, and see what the driver of the excavator can see and what is out of his view. It's deep learning and personal learning. Next module is about cleaning. We have solids in the sewer, we have sand, we have waste, we have grease, and we have to clean it off frequently. The main purpose of this unit is to develop a strategic approach for a cleaning plan. So we have to learn about the machines and all these issues. And this module E5, it's available as demonstration tool. So now I have a completely different picture. Next picture, yes. Here we have the link, and I think you will get the material after that you can look into this demo and into this module and get some information how it's designed. Yeah. The next picture is about cleaning more specific, the limits of the flushing methods, mechanical, chemical cleaning, and how to be aware in the design of a sewage system that you avoid deposits. So next unit will be for the replacement of sewers and drains. When a drain is damaged, then you, next picture please, can make it, repair it in place because you burst it and put a new tube in. Next picture please. And even in this process, there are a couple of very specific parameters to have in mind to do this in a proper way. All the things you are learning in this e-learning course. E-tunneling is the next and last module of this existing 6th one. Again, construction with geotechnical fundamentation. Next picture, please. And especially the technology of pipe checking. Pipe checking with its technical components. Jumping to the next. and with the forces which are even in pushing stations in the production. We know this similar technology from building metros and tubes, but here it's used for sewer systems. So next picture is, we can talk a lot about closed thinking shafts, these entry buildings to come into the ground. Next picture, or different technology to build it in the technology of open thinking stuff. But I think this is only to show you the different forms of visualization with really little text, but specific and for engineers level. Coming to the next picture, I think it's more important that we are going for the cost characteristics. In all of this, we have very clear learning objectives for the 30 hours. We have a clear structure of content, and this is ordered for sequential learning. You can go through it, you have a good content, so you can go back to the to read again specific parts. Each of the modules has about 400 web pages, 400 each. So every hour you care about 10, 15, something like that. And the dimension is right. We test it, we get a lot of feedback. Deep information, a lot of drawings, photos from the practice. We cooperate here with a leading constructing engineering, designing consultancy in Germany in this field. And so we have very good photos. We have diagrams, tables, relevant schemes. We have the references to the valid standards, to the valid European and valid German standards. And this is another way, again, a point where these modules are permanently under revision. Every 5 years, the standards are revised. So every 5 years, the modules are revised. You have in between exercises and learning units. So last picture is the overview. I think we talked about all the main items. It's important to know that at the end, you can make a written text, or you will, it's a little bit on confidentiality because we are talking about adults education. And when you fulfill the test, you get a DWA certificate. DWA has a good reputation in Germany. The costs you see over there, 600 euro, is for a member of DWA. So, and registration, you find all relevant things on the website, where you find some further information and our contact persons too. Any questions, please contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Bartik, if you could activate your microphone. We didn't hear you just there. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Roland Nitsky. We are looking forward for some questions, but from our side, we would like to ask some questions. See, I think, are you also now providing training or concentrating on reskilling and upskilling for the participants? Is your modules is also for the currently working professionals in the companies?
Yes, that's what's happening. Normally, the head of a company or the head of department says, there is a new person or you have a new task. You have to be prepared excellently for that task. Please book this training. And normally this 30 hours, the person will do during work time or preparing himself for a new job in the afternoon or in the evening. This is a normal mode how we do it. And because we don't have any state subsidies, our offers have to be self-sustaining financially. So this is the reason for that price. Yeah. But when you are booking such a training as a presence training, it will never be cheaper, and you have additional hotel costs and all these things.
On the following this question, do you also have some capacities for conducting such e-courses, for example, in terms of number of participants for each course? Do you have some capacity for that?
This is not, it's an individual learning process. So you as a person are booking. And so we can run with 50, 500, 5,000 the same time. Maybe the personals in tutorial have to increment. And you can learn when you want. You did it in the night, you can do it in India when we are sleeping here. It's no problem. You can do it in German if you want, or you do it in English.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering these questions. And if there are any more questions, we will come back to you.
Absolutely. Let me just add here, Kartik, we had quite a few people from the audience requesting Mr. Knitschke's contact details. And I'd just like to point out that there is a function or to download Mr. Knitschke's presentation. You see a little menu called handouts, and the DWA presentation as well as the other presentations are available for download here. And we're looking forward for you to contact Mr. Knitschke directly, or you can always go through iMove to post contact request. But I'd like to hand back to Sylvia now. Sylvia.
Thank you, Mr. Knitschke. Very interesting presentation, just like the one from Mr. Reinbaben also. Thank you also for the questions. And now we are coming to the next panelist. Next in line is Mr. Helmut Höfgen. He is representing the company LD Didactic. Mr. Höfgen, please introduce your training office.
Hello, and thank you for joining our presentation. Zum Übertragen, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Now we can see it, Mr. Höfgen, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much again for joining our presentation. As a quick introduction, my name is Helmut Höfgen, and I'm Area Sales Manager at LD Didactic, and I'm supporting my colleague Nash Palmer. He is the responsible sales agent and area sales manager for India. I will introduce our solution in the first step by this PowerPoint, and in the second part, I will go online with you. So then we have a look on the manual. If you have a QR code reading device available, please keep it on hand. Education for the further future generation. This is our slogan, and the mission is, of course, quality education for everyone. Due to innovative solutions, quality products, and fascinating experiments, we want to motivate the young generation to go into science and engineering. And this is also one part of the mission. You see the values. These are innovative solutions, international presence. We have a worldwide network from resellers and partners, quality, and of course, this all together comes into digital education now. A few facts about our company. We are settled in the south of Cologne, have manufacturing in Germany and Hungary, sales partners worldwide, and in total we are around 140 employees. You see, these are the ranges we are working in. The big range is science, biology, chemistry, and the focus on physics, where our roots came from, but also electrical engineering and automotive in the field of technology. We do this on the level for schools, and we also do this on a level for university education. Challenges in education. So we are leaving a bit now the overview of the company. What are the general challenges? Of course, limited time for education, limited time for preparation on experiments, managing the knowledge about the existing equipment, existing introductions and literature, and what happens when the teacher leaves the school and new come in, and we want how to prepare the students for the digital future. This was, of course, in general, the challenges beginning of this year, and then COVID-19 pops up. Due to this, request for distance learning and distance teaching has increased a lot, and the options for lab work was limited a much. We put this into the existing digital solution. LD started about 3 years ago with a digital solution in the LD solution that you can see here. These 4 parts, the lab equipment is not part of a digital solution, but we offer equipment for demonstration, for practical courses, and of course for student hands-on experiments. And it's not only in devices that we offer complete experiment, including the storage, including the manual. And these manuals are in two ways. We have a teacher manual that is the same structure as a student manual. The results are already prepared, and some advice about location and safety notes, and how to take care about hazardous products, for example. And the student gets only the tasks, how they have to work with the experiment, and what some space where they fill in the results. CASI and Com3Lab is the first part of our digital part. We have a long experience in digital measurement and didactical measurement, for education. CASI is used in various parts of science, and now we took over it to engineering, and Com3Lab is a blended learning concept that we have since 25 years. LabDocs are the new interactive manuals. These are HTML5 based files, and usually they can work on each electronic device that is able to work with internet. And the teacher prepares these and puts in question and answer, introduction. There's an option to have a graph and tables in, and also a small video can be placed in, that he only needs to handle one file to get in touch with the students, to send them on digital way the question, the exercise. And maybe we can have a look later during the course on one of these. LayLab is the platform for managing equipment, devices, experiment, manuals, and also the whole organization in a lab, in a true lab and also in the digital lab. You can see here the organization of LayLab. It's also an online platform. No download or installation is needed for this, and with this you handle all these content and all the devices and experiments. You see the information flow from LayLab. The QR code or a link is sent to the student from the teacher, and the communication between teacher and student goes via email or Microsoft Teams or other management systems there. Before we jump over to a presentation in online presentation, I'd like to give an advice on an coming webinar. On September 8th, our company has a webinar about this digital solution, and we would be happy if you join us. The link is here, and the link is also mentioned in the PDF that's available for download. Let's go online. So I will switch now my screen to my LayLab platform. Just a question at Mr. Pavel. Is it possible to see the LayLab platform now?
Yes, Mr. Höfgen, we can see it quite well.
Thank you very much. So this is the starting of LayLab, the starting page, and you can see here, welcome to LayLab. Here is a small option for an interactive tour, and we have videos with tutorial videos to introduce our customers how to use it. And then we have these two lines, my experiments and my device. This is, of course, the important thing for our customers. This is the content they are working with. And here we have the LD experiments and devices. We support this part of my device and my experiments with all LD solutions. But what is important to know, this is an open system. So every other devices from other companies or self-made devices can be put in here. And then I want to have a look here to show an overview. As I said, we have experiments and devices and administrations. As you can see here, oh, I need to log in again. We have the settings, so the user management is here, manufacturer's manager is in, locations are in here. So you have the storage of the devices in LayLab up to an inventory usually. And we see the split of devices and experiments that can be customized by our customers on their own. The schools and administration, we can import and export, and we can put in a delivery note. This is all these things. QR code is also supported with the storage management. And then we have here the devices. We have to split on My Device and LD device. My Device are here. I can search for and see what's in here. And we have a lot of this in German, but maybe I found also one in English. Oh, there's a simple one that you can see. And these technical data, inventory documents, all these are placed in here, and it's possible to edit by the customer himself. The main thing are, of course, the experiments. The experiments, I have prepared an experiment from Ohm's law, and I want to search for it. So I place in Ohm. I look for it, I see 3 options we have. These experiments can be sorted, and I have filter option for experiment groups, the grade that is mentioned in these experiments, difficulty, required time, or if there is an interactive laptop in or not. I'd like to introduce you on these Ohm's law on top of the list. We have here a short description. We see the grade, and we have a look on the list of devices. Here I can see this is really in my school. The others are not there, but I don't need it for this demonstration. And we have these documents here. All these documents are the interactive laptops. And I want to have a look on the laptop with video that's prepared for this event here. We have the teacher version that it's possible for download, and the teacher version is not able to share. And we have the student version that you can share. So I click on this here on the teacher version. You can see the title and preparation time, duration time, some notes. So we run through a picture, how to set up, and all this is interactive. So Google Translate has an option to translate this here. I will do. Unfortunately, I cannot read this, sorry. And yeah, I put in a video here, and you see all the results here are in red. This is not part of the student laptop. The student laptop is this over here. So if you have an option to share it, we click on share. We can limit the time, how long is it available. We have a link in here to connect this with Microsoft Teams for Education. That
your time is almost up. I'd like to ask you to come to a finish. Thank you. But you
okay.
Can...
So please try to fix this or to find out with this QR code. And yeah, this is one way to share the documents with the students. And let's go online. Is my presentation now available again?
Yes, we can see it, Mr. Öfken.
Okay.
Just we
saw
you
is also in there, and now we come to questions.
We didn't really see your QR code. Maybe while we answer the questions, you might want to go back to the QR code to give the participants a chance to scan them if they want to, maybe while we respond to them.
So this is a QR code to the students' laptop for doing Ohm's law experiment.
Kartik, are there any questions for Mr.
Thank
Höfgen?
you. Yes, the participant side, we are yet to get some questions, but I would like to ask Mr. Helmut Höfgen, and
Yes.
do you also prepare a kind of a customized tool or a module for the clients on their requirements?
Customize means what they want to do, or
Yes.
sorry, I just jump over here. Well, I missed to say these lab docs, what I shown you, are done with a laptop editor, and the intention is it's a small Windows-based software, and the intention is that the customers use the laptops that LD supports together with the equipment for a one-topic experiment to customize this laptop on their own requirements, or they create their own laptop. So we know from the standard hardware solution that we support the customers with manuals, but after a short time they decide to change these manuals on their personal and local requirements. And that is, of course, the important thing of these laptops. Due to the laptop editor, the customers are able to change it on their way. Not only for translation, they also can put in content. They manage the setup, they can take a picture of the setup, the question and answers are formulated individually, the graphs and the tables are individually to set up, and we have this interactive solution if the students are in front of this hardware, not for distance learning. If they are in front with it, we have this fascinating solution that the measurement values from the measurement device, the CASI, comes directly into the laptop, and the student gets the results in their file on their mobile device.
Thank you.
It
was very interesting to see.
Is your question answered completely, or is there anything missing?
Yes. Thank you so much for your clarification. And it is interesting that to see your content in Hindi also. And my next question is, do you already have a few Indian customers who are using your modules?
Due to I'm supporting my colleague who is responsible for India, I don't have details information about the customer there and the market there. We can ask them. We can ask Mr. Palmer and find out. As I know, the thing is growing up, of course, and we started with it, and we have several customers over the world and in Germany, of course, which is an important market for us. But in detail, if there are some in India, unfortunately, I cannot answer that question.
Thank you so much for your time, and it was very interesting. Over to you, Peter and Sylvia. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention. Have a good time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Höfgen, for this very interesting and vivid demonstration. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kartik, also for the questions. We are coming to our next presentation now, which will be held by Miss Manolita Wiel. And she is representing the company Renewables Academy, RENAC. Miss Wiel, please share your information with us.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can all hear me well. Thank you all for tuning in. It's great to have an opportunity to speak with so many of you, given all the distances that we have here. My name is Manolita Wiel. I'm the Director of International Business Development and Sales at RENAC, which is short for the Renewables Academy. I think my presentation, okay, it's back now. Thanks, Peter. Let me see. Let me try and click through. Yeah, it seems to be working. So a brief overview of what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about RENAC, Renewables Academy, what we do, and give you a glimpse into some of the projects that we've done in India. We've done quite a few, but I've made a selection, and then I'll talk you through, or I'll show you a video of our online academy, and then end with just some recommended courses for you. Oops, can I go back? So the Renewables Academy, we are based in Berlin here. We operate internationally, though, as you can see on the slide, hopefully in front of you. We've been working in over 160 countries, and so far we've had about 19,000 participants, both online and offline, so face-to-face courses as well as online courses we've been active in. Our focus is on renewable energy and energy efficiency technologies, and we've been active since 2008, so relatively well established, and since then we have been working in India as well. Like I said, I will talk through some of our projects in India in a minute, but just to give you an overview, what we do at RENAC, we offer things such as tailor-made courses, ready-made courses. We offer our services to equipped training centers, and then we also do things such as train the trainer courses. We offer quality assurance of other training infrastructures. We do delegation tours. We have an online academy, which you will hear about a bit more in a minute. Like I said, focus is really on renewable energy and energy efficiency. I will now just quickly go through some of our recent or interesting projects in India, and I've sort of clustered them into three different groups. One has been the field of photovoltaics, so our PV projects. There we have currently a relatively large project with the GIZ as our client. And there it's called iRise, and the iRise project is a project that's training solar installers and engineers, as well as project developers in the PV rooftop area. And we do have, and because of the current situation, some of them have also been through the online academy. We have recently completed another project called Trophy, which was targeting the DISCOMs in India, as well as the Surya Mitra trainers. So we have quite a bit of experience with the solar branch, shall we say, in India. And we also had an interesting project in 2011, but that was with the IITs in India, where together with the IITs, we gave two courses, one on PV large scale systems and another on solar thermal process heat. The IIT in Chennai and the IIT in Mumbai were our partners there. These projects were all with the GIZ, and hopefully there we go. There's a slight delay in when I touch the screen, so hopefully I won't go too fast. The next set of projects are what I've called generally capacity building projects, since they cover different areas. We currently wrapped up a project called Green Banking, which worked with the banking sector in India, the finance sector, and that was mainly about teaching them about the risks as well as the benefits of renewable energy financing. We had a project last year as well that targeted the grid and the demand side efficiency of the grid, and this was a course that was predominantly for the DISCOMs. That course was held in Berlin, and we had an online course in 2014 with a focus on grid integration topics, and that was a course that was for as within the German Indo-German partnership project or program, which is a very active project, which helps. In this case, their focus was on grid integration topics in India, and as well as their employees within the project. Now, the last area is study tours, which we have been extremely active in India, and it's a bit tricky nowadays, but we can also do study tours virtually if needed. In 2017, for example, we did a high-level study tour with Indian parliamentarians, and they were interested in knowing about the German Energiewende, which is the German energy transition, and how Germany has been going through with it. And we also had, wait for it, my presentation, a study tour for the REC in 2016, which is the Rural Electrical Corporation. There the focus was on large-scale PV systems. And we also did study tours for IREDA, the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. And these study tours were done through two different German consultancy companies that work on development projects in India. And the tour with the parliamentarians was done through the German Foreign Office. So on the next page, I have a link, which I hope will work. Otherwise, Peter, you might have to click on it if it doesn't work for me. But let's see. This is a video of our online academy. So hopefully you can see it and hear it. If not, please inform us.
I don't think we'll have the audio, Manolita, so maybe you might just want to comment on it.
That's fine. The text there supplements the audio, but it's a multilingual sort of platform. You can study whenever you want. We've got courses in different languages. We don't have any in Hindi currently, but we do have languages such as Spanish and English and some in French. It's interactive. We have exercises, like some of my other colleagues on the panel mentioned. They're high quality. We've got loads of good photos. We've got virtual classrooms that take place during the course, where you've got an expert that you can direct your questions to. And then you have seminar rooms and also forums where you can ask your questions at your own time at a different at a different pace if you need. We have videos that are included with professionals from the fields. You have exam questions or test questions throughout the course, so your knowledge is you get to check yourself that you're following the program and you're actually understanding what's being taught. As I mentioned, there's a forum, and these forums are really quite lively, and we try and animate them as well when possible. Then we've got different kinds of subjects that we cover, and I'll go through some of them later in my next slide. The topics that would be of most interest, hopefully, to India, based on what we've been doing so far. At the end of the course, you get a certificate, which we post to you, and there we go. Great. Back to the last slide. Hopefully that worked for you all to see the video. It was a quick blitz through our academy. Here's an overview of just some of the courses that we have. We have 2 intakes for our online academy in particular per year. The next one is in October this year, and I've just selected a few courses here that might be of interest based on our previous topics in coming out of India. There's courses for grid managers, so those involved in the electricity grid and those interested in understanding how to integrate renewable energy into the grid. There's the certified grid manager course. There's a course on for the finance sector, courses for the PV sector, courses for the power system sector. And of course, the last one is an overview of renewable energies. So of course, for anybody who wants to learn more about renewable energy. That's it from my side. I'm happy to take some questions now or also via email. Arun, I can't hear you yet.
Yeah, thank you so much, Manolita, for your interesting presentation and showcasing all your experiences in India and several projects. Predominantly, I would like to ask, see, Renewable Academy is offering a lot of online courses, e-learning courses. But do you also create some platform where to test the participants in person? Do you also create some, if somebody wants to have a hands-on experience, do you have the facility to come and try some of these
In
courses
India?
or some of the exercises in India? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what we offer are online courses, virtual courses, virtual live courses, which you can also do, you know, like we're doing now in a webinar context, where you go through with a live trainer at a specific time. But we mainly do a lot of face-to-face courses. So we've done a lot of courses in India where we physically go there and do the training courses and then assess the participants. But if your question is about how can we assess participants that are taking part online
Yes.
in India?
More specific to that. Yes, in India specifically, because since you have a lot of projects already done here, do you have any partners here who are doing this assessment in India for you?
Not exactly, because we work with quite a few different partners. We don't have a standard partner in India that you can go to. And a lot of our projects are very tailored to the customer's needs. So we would, if it were a project where we had to do testing in India, we would be able to organize something like that if that was necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If there are more questions, we will direct it to you and
Great.
give it back to them. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Isviel, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much for introducing your training measures and also especially your projects with a focus on India. Thank you, Kartik, also. Last but not least, we will now have a presentation by Mr. Boris Groth and Mr. Julian Gayo, representing the company SGM Solutions and Global Media. Mr. Groth and Mr. Gayo, the floor is yours.
Beautiful. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Good morning. My name is Boris Groth. I'm the owner actually of SGM Educational Solutions. This is the formal name, Solutions and Global Media, which has an history since 2007. And let me introduce my colleague Julian, who will actually in follow-up hopefully be able to answer your questions via email, send you material information or whatever. What we have been preparing is actually nothing, because we thought we have 10 minutes and rather do a little bit power to the point than PowerPoint. Let me introduce briefly what we're doing. I'm an IT and a software engineer by nature. I started getting into education about 35 years ago on my own, and that was on academic level. I worked in research organizations, and we got into vocational training and education about 15 years ago. One important thing that has evolved over the time is technology doesn't beat demand. Actually, what we are facing today in industry, be it wherever we go, and we've been active, especially in Southeastern Europe, we've been very active in the Southwestern Latin American market and have subsidiaries in Southeastern Europe and towards Latin America, but still being in Europe, Spanish speaking as well. What we are always facing, and that was one of the questions, or multiple times the question was rising, are you adapting your courses? Actually, we always start from demand, because in today's times, the most important thing in vocational training and education is adapt to the needs of industry. And the needs are quite different. If you come to something like marine or maritime engineering in Germany, and then you go to African border countries, you'll find completely different challenges. First point, yes, what we do is we do online trainings, synchronous online trainings, call it webinars or seminars. We do asynchronous trainings, be it whatever kind of platform you find, because we can still introduce the next and first electronic or software platform in order to mediate content. But we rather adapted to market because all the companies we matched and managed in the meantime as our customers and worked together with them always had some kinds of tool in place. So we'd rather stick to having our round about 280 online courses in international standards like SCORM, AICC available and ready to be adapted to customers' needs. By the way, we have been working in the meantime in 24 international languages, and we're working with the German Synchron together because sometimes it's really important not to have English by nature. That's one thing. The second thing is we have material stock because we came from train the trainers. So the first step of SGM in its early years was train the trainers programs where we help people to upskill, right skill, and maybe a reskill in order to be internationally compatible with other markets like Europe. You may know that we have the European qualification framework here, and all the modules and content we do have are already compliant to the EQFS, which means in adaptation we can then make sure that the assessments are internationally renowned and at least accepted, and that local accreditation can be bridged to other countries, because vocational sometimes does not only imply to have practical trainings and blended learning, because we think there's more to it. We're always trying to build bridges in between educational organizations. We're working on one quite big college now that offers over 20 disciplines, and we're trying to establish double badges, which is politically quite a complicated thing, because accreditation across borders, especially out of Europe, is a story. Especially we Germans know what we're talking about after having to suffer a Bologna process. So that's basically what we do. We have some new products in place as well, because this unfortunate pandemic came across, and we had one product planned for next March, which is a synchronous communication platform in terms of collaboration platform. Call it a smart board that will run on each and every device, be it even a TV screen that has a web browser, so that schooling, vocational training and education, and collaboration will be able without any installation of any software. And whether you use that with GoToMeeting or Skype or whatever kind of communication platform for live talking, or at least having audio video conversations, this for us is not the point. This is third-party integration. This product is called Infinity Board. Julian may maybe provide you with a couple of information on that and follow up. Now, talking about what we've been doing, we came from engineering, started with IT as all the online platforms, especially maybe a little bit induced by my profession, and we rapidly moved into all the other engineering sections, be it mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. We have, in the meantime, have covered 30 disciplines and have become quite strong internationally in healthcare development and skilling people, or right skilling people and training people to be internationally employable caretakers on the basic level, even according to the German accreditation system. We have done the volleyball training for the FIFA of volleyball, which is the World Volleyball Federation in Switzerland, and we have managed to put 3 online courses there and onboarding about 11,000 students worldwide. They have 240 sub-associations there, which was a challenge because we had international bridges there, which is not only culture and religion and color and whatever we had, but we really had to do something which was mentioned before, which is highly induced by gamification of content and abstraction actually of local specialities in the markets. We have been, or we are still quite strong in agriculture, marine engineering, maritime engineering. We've done things like timber and wood processing, and ultimately especially management issues are coming up. So we are quite good and providing lean management courses, and we are providing lean production courses for different countries. To come back, we have been active in Africa in various countries. We are very active in Southeastern and Southwestern Europe. We have started to be active in South America. This pandemic is not very helpful, but on the other hand, it gives an opportunity to all the people that did not understand that online learning, be it synchronous, on demand, self-paced, asynchronous, onboarding people with their own pace in learning. And if you are then able to provide corporates, which are our main customers, we never go to see. We actually do B2B business and hide behind the challenges in those countries, providing them with adapted courses to their industrial tailored markets. So that's basically the story. We have 3 studios in Europe. We can produce everything on our own. We do IT on our own, and we adapt to platforms and develop content. To make a statement about content and software, whatever you do today in development of online is a nice thing. But what happens at the end of the day, that the content, as well as all the other things, it ages. Software ages and content ages, especially if you go to IT. What I've been learning 20 years ago is completely wrong today. So you have to maintain a certain level of quality, and we have a quite vast network. I was a manager at Fraunhofer Society for the ICT group there, and I built, and my colleagues have helped on that, I built quite a good and big network of academic and vocational training professors and trainers, which means that I quite feel some confidence in saying, if somebody has a new thing coming up, let's go and seek a little bit, and we will find the right people. We have set up processes. We have quality control in terms of plagiarism, which is quite important, because some corporates do not only use that for their internal trainings, but we are quite well, hopefully renowned in providing training organizations in different countries, and we cannot deliver something they would put online and then maybe infringe whatever third-party rights. So that's one of those processes we have in place as well. GDPR is another issue we've been working on. We did the GDPR basic training here for the ECO Association of the Internet in Germany, and compliance courses at this point in time are as well one of those things we're doing. We've never been to India. We are completely open to come to India. We would never do that with without a local champion. So please feel free. That was very much a nutshell and very little precise in terms of detail. But I was trying basically to make the points that we're very open and adaptive. And we're not very pushy with products, but rather listening and try to find out what your industry, what your students, what your trainees need in order to deliver the right thing in time. We have a big stock of things, and it would be a pleasure to be able to start with working with you. Julian, did I forget something?
There's not much more to add at this point. Considering our tight time slots, I would say that yeah, that's it for the moment.
Yeah, maybe we can compile something like a little fact sheet for you and hand that over to iMove. Thanks again. We've been partnering now for years, Ms. Niedig. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and at your fingertips. Thanks a lot.
Your microphone is off.
Thank you, Mr. Boris, for your extempore offering. And I think that you are now offering in different fields. What are the 3 top offers, training offers of your company, or the sectors, top 3 sectors?
We are quite strong in IT, mechanical, and electrical engineering. But if I look at the content we've been working in 30 disciplines at this point in time. We are not working one discipline, we're working on demand, which means if somebody comes across and tells me, let me be a little bit stupid here to abstract from any kind of possible competitors. If you need a course in mice milking, Give me 3 weeks, I'll find a professional mice milking. Try to find out what the demand of the local market is and then adapt the content accordingly. We had one of those issues now with a very specialized company in Africa that needed lean production. And all these things that you have there, Kanban and risk and blah, blah. We all integrated that and adapted it to the local customers' needs because the way of production there is completely different than we would do it over here. If that is a little bit a response to your question.
Thank you so much, and we welcome you to India shortly to explore our markets here. And we are here to help you also to find the right partner. Thank you.
That's right. If I may interrupt here, we have another question from a participant, Ms. Bear is asking, does SGM offer only an online platform or also content, for instance, in engineering or healthcare?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do both, and even a little bit more. We can develop material. We can develop material for pupils, and usually we have to develop it for the trainers as well, because they need methodology, they need assessments, they need assignments, they need questions, whatever there in order to be compatible. You can have that as a trainer program face-to-face, maybe not now in those times. You can have it face-to-face synchronously like we are doing now, Peter, and you can have it completely online. I mean, it's a matter of demand, and it's not a big change in process. It's more a change in your own mind setup, because people are very much used to being taught by somebody who's talking. You know what, if I would be a video, you would have shut me off already because I would be boring. So self-paced learning is the thing on demand, which I think is the thing in future, and we're ready to go. So just ask whatever you need. And yeah, healthcare is one of those things, actually, because we need healthcarers and caretakers here in Germany, which we've been quite successful in Europe.
Thank you very much. Kartik, do you have any more questions on your side?
No, I'm good with this, and thank you both the gentlemen for your kind presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Groth. Thank you very much, Mr. Gayo, for sharing your information on your vast experiences and your competencies. Thank you, Kartik, and thank you, Peter, for managing all the questions. Dear audience, this was the end of your questions for now, but I have one more question left, and that is, how did you like this online event? Do you think that the presentations were interesting and useful for you? Or do you think that the presentations might be of interest for you in the future? Or do you have the impression that the presentations imparted nothing new? I'd be really keen to know what you thought about the presentations today, so please let me know now. I would now like to thank all panelists and the audience for being with us today and for sharing information and questions. And I would also like to thank my colleagues, Kartik and Peter, for organizing and conducting this event together with me. If you have further questions, or if you want to get in touch with today's panelists, please do not hesitate to contact us. We are looking forward to hearing from you soon, and we will keep you up to date on training made in Germany on our website, imove-germany.de. The whole iMove team sends kind regards. Please stay safe and healthy. Goodbye.